Hi, everyone. Today, I am listening to a song which actually I have known for quite some time and I love deeply. And that is The Rose, as in The Rose sung by originally Bette Midler. I didn't come to meet the song through Bette Midler's performance, just as I didn't come to meet Blackbird through the Beatles. Instead, it was a classical singer, to be specific, Bryn Terfel, the great Welsh baritone. And the first time I heard that, I was completely taken in by it. It inspired me to look it up, the original, and learn more about it. Well, now, today, I am going to be listening to this song, which I love so deeply, this time performed by Joe Bonamassa. Joseph Leonard Bonamassa is an American blues rock guitarist, singer, and songwriter. So I expect this is going to be a rather different interpretation than the classical, melodic, baritone Welsh performance of Bryn Terfel, which was and is, to this day, my favorite performance. But I'm curious, and I'm always interested to discover new ways and fresh looks at music. And so, today, I am going to listen to The Rose by Joe Bonamassa. Live at Carnegie Hall. Interesting with the flute. What is
Some
this?
say love is just a river that drowns the tender reed. Some say love is just a razor that leaves your soul to bleed. Some say love is just a hunger, an endless aching need. And I say love, it is a flower in you, it's only seed. It's the
Okay, my first impressions of it. It is still the piece that I love. It is a very, it of course is interpreted differently, and I hear his own flavor, his own personality coming through the way he's singing. What interests me, what really captivated me with this performance so far is actually not so much the voice itself. It's a nice voice and it's a nice interpretation. It's not even the piano, which is the main accompaniment instrumental support. It is actually the other instruments being added. This one, which I cannot recognize by sight, but it's obviously an Eastern traditional instrument, bowed type instrument, and that, and then of course the glockenspiel chimey sound as well, and those they bring in this sort of otherworldly, ethereal quality, which I think is very appropriate to this idea of as we're listing all the different things that different people feel about love. Love is just a river that drowns the tender reed. Love is a razor that leaves your soul to bleed. Love's a hunger, an endless aching need. I say love, it is a flower, and you, its only seed. There is a sort of the way these instruments come in and add their special touch. And I don't think it's just because they're novel or unusual, less common in Western music. I don't think it's their exotic rarity. I think it is the sonic qualities they bring themselves. I think the way this instrument, this bowed string instrument, it has both the soulful, emotional, lyrical, mournful potential of, let's say, the violin. But at the same time, there's something rather flute-like about its sound as well. It's this strange cross between violin and flute. The sound feels more flute-like to me, which gives it a rather angelic quality. And then the tinkly, tinkly, tinkly sparkles, sunlight glinting off of a water drop, a dewdrop, that sort of otherworldly, something that feels out of reach and at the same time is actually very present in this world. And it's a nice way of setting these lyrics.
It's the heart afraid of breaking. It never learns to dance. It's the dream afraid of waking.
Nice duet here.
It never takes the chance. It's the one who won't be taken, who cannot seem to give.
I like the way in this moment, the rhythm of the lyrics were, and if you don't know the song very well, you might not be aware of this, but you still hear it and feel it. Instead of continuing, it's the one who won't be taken, who cannot seem to give. That has been going throughout. Instead, we hear emphasis, rhythmic emphasis. Who cannot seem. It's the one who won't be taken, who cannot seem. The way they altered the rhythm there to emphasize, to point out the cannot, instead of cannot seem to give. Cannot seem, added some extra time in there to stress that part of the message.
One who won't be taken, who cannot seem to give.
Make you wait for it though.
In the soul, afraid of dying, it never learns to live.
First time I start hearing the drums really strongly. It's just been some light tapping up until now. But there is that so flute-like about this instrument.
When the night has been too lonely and the road has been too long,
Interesting.
and you think that
Like they don't go doom,
lies the sea, the where the sun's love in the spring becomes a rose.
So, I'm thinking, how do I feel this particular performance? And because I know this piece in both the original Bette Midler style as well as the Bryn Tervel style, it's an interesting experience to encounter another interpretation of it like this, which I don't want to turn this into a comparison of the three because I'm listening specifically to this one. I will simply say, I don't think this has taken first place. I think I will always and forever prefer the Bryn Tervel version. However, this was beautifully performed. And as I said, there are certain things with the choice of instruments that give it a very special magical quality, just as love is so magical as we experience it. And if I were going to sum up the interpretation conclusion of the piece, I think that what they have done, what Joe Bonamassa has done with this piece is to focus our attention on the part of the music which is about renewal and new life, the springtime. The way that final verse became almost a dance with everybody singing, and you could see they themselves wanted to dance with it. And the instrumental joyfulness, the kind of group celebration of the return of life and growth and springtime, the springtime of love. In the spring becomes the rose. The seed that with the sun's love in the spring becomes the rose. I feel like that is where the music, this particular performance, really focused and presented that message, which is very much in harmony with the message of the poetry itself. And this is such an interesting thing to think about, and such a great opportunity to consider, to notice how you can have one set of lyrics, one bit of poetry, one song, and then the artist, the arranger, the musicians who, and this is why as classical musicians, we talk about the interpretation of the piece. How does the performer interpret the piece? Because there is not only one right way. If you listen to Bette Midler, there's a certain aching pain present in her It feels as if one has lived through pain before we get to In the Spring Becomes the Rose. If you listen to Bryn Tervel's version, he captures the romantic side of it. It is so lush and luscious and romantic and tender. And then we come to this, and this is all about the renewal, the celebration, the new life bursting forth, and springtime springing all around. And it's so much fun as a musician to sit down and bring an interpretation to life. It is so much fun as an audience, a listener, to explore different interpretations, different messages that can be brought from the same performance. And that is why, personally, I do not simply dismiss a cover as, oh, nice cover, a cover. It was a cover, but it's not the original. It's true, sometimes cover is not so good as the original, but sometimes it's simply a different interpretation, which is just as valid and just as important, meaningful. And depending on who you are and where you are in your life, one interpretation or another will speak to you more strongly. So this has been a fun experience. That was Joe Bonamassa, The Rose, and one of the few times on this channel that I have sat down to listen to a piece that I already know quite well in a different presentation, different interpretation, different style, much like happened with Blackbird from the Beatles and my experience with King Singers. So, again, Joe Bonamassa, that was live at Carnegie Hall, The Rose. I'll see you soon.